out to Dan, and we built a strong relationships and just grown this really from zero online presence to where we're at now, which is, I'm almost to 500 members.
Yeah, buddy. How you guys all doing today? Hopefully you're all having a great Wednesday. We got a special guest with us today. He's my favorite Jason, even though I do have an uncle named Jason, but I'll be honest, this guy's more my favorite. Just don't tell my uncle. So, hopefully everyone's doing great today. Let me just make sure that we are live. Come say what up in the comment section below. And, we're going to get into Jason's journey. I'm sure if you've been updated within my Facebook group, you've kind of seen his journey a little bit based on it's crazy because the last real big coaching call that me and you had was a live session that we did in the group. Right. And so
exactly.
that turned out, by the way, how's my audio? Do I sound good? Yep. And so really what I want to do is I want to discuss what Jason went through, which is I think one of the best feelings I know for myself to go through, which is you have this idea, you've been talking about it for quite some time. You finally put it into reality in terms of, all right, let's put it through a medium, which is Facebook groups, right? You had this idea, I want to build an online coaching business. I've been, in sales. I've been, you can call it the corporate game or whatever you want to call it, working for someone else, or I mean, you've obviously run businesses, but kind of like going from that transition and having this concept and then putting into reality and then experiencing the feeling where in a short span of time, people are actually signing up for, essentially a product that you really haven't built fully yet. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That's very correct, man. Starting from scratch, from zero online.
Zero. And no, just in case you guys are wondering, he's not a paid actor. I wish I could find as good of a paid actor as Jason, but they're very hard to find. They're very expensive, to be honest. So with that being said, let's kind of get into your story. Let's get into your journey, because I think it's going to be so authentic, so real. And if you guys are taking notes, I would really study what he did, and so you can apply the same thing. So Jason, tell us about who you are. Tell us about your business, your coaching program, and kind of what you do.
Yeah. So my name is Jason Webb. I've been coaching kind of locally here for the last few years, but this is my first online venture into coaching. What my business is, or what I coach on, is a profitable business, sales and lead generation, specializing in that. And so just growing businesses and helping people make more money with what they do. So again, I've been doing that for the last few years here locally. So being the first online venture with getting paid coaching people online, which is, it's crazy to me how quick it's worked, and just always had this process in my head, or this plan in my head, and to actually have it come to fruition, it's amazing. So thanks, Dan.
Yeah, of course, man, of course. So kind of talk to us. What are some of the problems that you had prior to joining the program? Like kind of like talk about that phase of like confusion. I'm lost. I'm not sure really what to do. And some of the biggest challenges that you faced, because you had a website, you were trying to do something. So talk to us.
Yeah, I had a website up, but I had somebody build that for me. And tech is definitely not my background. When it comes to Facebook, I never posted anything on my personal profile. I never did any of that stuff. So all of this, it was overwhelming to figure out, like, where do I start? What do I do? How do I start gaining an audience and start building a following? And, then once I start building the following, how do I express an authority within that following? So there was so many struggles with it at first, and just not knowing what that next step was, even just from the clarity of really, where do I want to focus my attention on in my coaching business? Because locally it was all businesses and just operations, sales, lead flow, market, it was everything. And so really niching down to get that clarity, that was the biggest first issue that I had, was really trying to figure that out.
Yeah. And kind of talk to us about the beta launch, because I want you to kind of give us a process, because, if you guys haven't seen his group, you can look up the Profitable Christian Business Community. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Right.
That is.
Yeah. And so
I'll put that up in the comments.
Yeah. So initially it was the Profitable Business Coach, but then you realized, obviously niching down, that obviously you're talking to more Christians, that's the niche. right? And that's
Exactly.
why, and after you start to enroll clients who work all Christian, you realize that there's something here. Obviously Christian, Jason is a Christian.
Yes.
But kind of talk to us about like starting the group, to building the group, to launching it, to providing content, to the beta launch, and then to having people sign up to the free coaching. Tell us about the whole journey as,
Yeah, the whole
as
journey, it
Jason's
was
journey.
just big step after big step, from really inviting just strangers into my group and kind of overcoming that at first. I have zero issues in terms of talking in front of thousands of people up on a stage or anything like that. That is not my issue at all. I'm a director of sales as my day job, and I've been doing that for years. But really talking to a camera and overcoming that, and then let alone inviting people to a group. Um, I remember the first day that I sent those invites out, Dan, you pushed me on that. And dude, I shot it right back. I got 15 people that want to join my group. Holy cow. Like, what happens next? So just that was the first big stepping stone. And then really starting to talk to people through it, build the relationships, posting information on my group. Um, that was another big step. Like, okay, how do I do it? What do I do? What kind of
Yeah.
information do I need to get up there? I have all this knowledge in my head. How do I get it out to the world?
Mhm.
So another big step in doing that.
Yeah.
So that just continued and continued, and consistent posting, consistent invites to my group. It slowly built, and pretty soon I kept niching down. Like I said, like you just said, I changed the group name just in the last few weeks here to the Christian business owner community, because I started realizing that's the following that I started to get just because of my background and my faith and the people that I started talking to and actually resonating with. And so I was listening to my audience in terms of, okay, what do they want? What do they need? So I started getting into that. And then just in the last few weeks, you know, Dan was like, "Dude, you're going to do the beta launch. Like, you're ready. You're pushing." So the accountability side of that side um, really got me into that. So I threw it up there. I'm like, all right, am I ready? Because again, I got comfortable with posting. I got comfortable invites. Okay, now the next step. Let's make myself uncomfortable again. We're never going to grow unless we make ourselves uncomfortable. So
Mhm.
let's do it. I did that through the first week of my beta launch. I got 3 paying clients, like just like that. And that first client, man, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. So excited to see that money just hit the account, and just like, you know what? Somebody believes in what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
this is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's real. And talk to us about
Yes.
the Facebook group. Talk to us like the power of the Facebook group, because I think there's so many options that you can walk down. And so
Mhm.
kind of break that down of why the Facebook group has been so vital for your growth. I mean, literally from an idea, we were able to grow the group and make it happen. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, just really just a lot of it's market feedback. Like in my day job being the director of sales, we have other options on how we can get market feedback, market data, just so we can see, okay, where are we at with things and how are things going to work. Well, with real-time information from the people that are actually in the group and the relationships you start to build with these people, it's the group is there's no other way to do it. Well, there is, but this is the most efficient way that I found to do it in doing sales for most of my life.
Yeah.
um in 2 months, it's like I said, 500 people are seeing what I'm posting and talking about every day. Like, Dan, like you talked about, one of the first times we had a conversation is, yeah, you're going to be known. You're going to get out there. You're going to be a celebrity within that group. It's what you wanted, right? It's what you asked for. Yes, that's exactly what you asked for. That's how you build that authority within your niche and what you do. And that group, you're the authority in the group. It's just, the group is amazing. And I wouldn't have known how to do it before this.
Why was it so efficient? Because I know you're not a tech guy,
Yeah,
and
no,
so talk to us, like, why is it so efficient? Because I really, the point, guys,
it's
every
the
time I bring
efficiency side of it
someone
is
on to just show what's possible, how simple it is. Because Jason, you just turned, was
yes.
it 23 yesterday? 24? So I totally forgot. That was a joke.
I
Yeah.
wish, man, that was 20 years ago.
But like, talk to us. Why is it so simple? Why is it so efficient? Like, from like messaging people to posting, like, talk to us about that, because you're not like posting consistently,
Mhm.
like the whole schedule of running and maintaining your group too.
Yeah, I still have my full-time job. Like, I'm still working, 50 hours a week doing my regular job, and then having this and building this, hopefully to get this to take over that. But having the conversations with people, it's not like we're doing Facebook ads. It's like we're we're just blasting out to the masses. I'm hoping that we get some traffic in this. When we get people into the door, it's warm leads into our business. And as we start building that rapport with them, we're talking through the DMs. I'm finding out more information about their business and really getting in depth on, okay, am I going to be a good fit for them? Are they going to be a good fit for me? Can I really show them what I can do and help them? Because I'm not going to just sell something to somebody I can't help. So it's super efficient in getting to know your base client or your potential clients. You get to know that and get to feel, okay, as I've transitioned my niche basically, or kind of moved it around, it's all been through the people in my group and the feedback that I've got. So it's instant feedback, and you can shift on the fly in how you need to help your customers.
Yeah. And what's crazy too, and just a note for all of you guys, my first conversation with Jason was, so what's going to be my niche?
Right? I'm like, this is what I do. What do I do, man?
I don't know. I don't know what niche to choose right now. Like I like sales. I don't know if it's sales. And my response, this is for everyone too. Like my response was like, just build the group, just grow the damn group, just post things in the group and you'll figure it out. And it's funny because you grew the group and then you started booking free coaching sessions with these people.
Yep.
Right. And talk to us about that, because wasn't it mind blowing how simple it was to just get someone onto a call with you and how that whole process went?
Yeah. Because at first, again, overwhelmed with all of the text sign. I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I keep conversations with all of these people, which I've gotten a lot better at. But at the beginning, I was just posting content and inviting people and really trying to just, I don't know, swim or float or stay, whatever it is, to try to keep a bird above talking to people. Well, people started asking me, hey, you mind if I jump on a call? Just to have some clarity on this, or have a strategy session, or a sales audit on this. And people started reaching out to me to get those calls. I didn't ask people to get on these calls.
Wow.
So that was like a huge shock to me, and it just clicked in my head. Okay, so I'm actually providing information for these people that works. But just how easy it was. I mean, again, having my full-time job and still being able to do this, takes me 30 minutes or so in the morning to invite people, and then the evenings have my coaching sessions or so. It definitely can be done, and it's worked. It's been awesome.
Hey guys, how's it going? Look, I hope you're enjoying these videos so far. Quick question for you. If you are a coach looking to scale and launch your business, there's a link down below to book a free 45-minute session with either myself or my team. And basically what we do, we call these calls clarity calls, where our job is for us to look at your situation, not to sell you on this big thing that maybe we don't believe is possible for you, but to genuinely look at your situation. Where are you stuck? Where's the vision to go? And then us to offer clarity on your offer, on your mission, on your marketing plan, on your client acquisition process, on your program, whatever the case is. I'm a big believer in good karma. I'm a big believer in making an impact on people's lives, whether you work with us or not. So if that's you, I want you to click the link down below, fill in a quick application. You'll either talk to myself or my team. We'll look at your situation, give you the feedback. If it makes sense to work with us, great. If it doesn't, at least you got a free 45-minute call. So if that's you, click the link down below, and I promise it'll be worth your time. Back to the show.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, if you look at other platforms like YouTube, and like say you did a YouTube and a podcast, you wouldn't know who your subscribers are. You wouldn't even know who your listeners are for your podcast. If you try to do some TikTok or Instagram, what are you going to start doing? Reaching out to people to say, hey, do you want to be friends? Like or like, hey, do you want to follow me? Right? Like it's tough to do that. And that's why, to me, the Facebook group idea, whenever you want to start something, I can talk about this for hours, but you're another great example of like no niche, no idea. And whenever someone comes to you like, I'm not really sure about my audience, just build the group, and you figure it out. Just stop talking. Just get like even talking about like a cover photo. Like I remember our first conversation, it was like, just go on Fiverr, right?
That's
I
what
think
I
you spent
did, man.
like $12-15 on a cover photo.
It cost me $15 on it, man. I didn't know where to start with that either. And you're like, let's check out Fiverr. I was like, all right, I've done some stuff with Fiverr. I jumped on there, $15, had some revisions on it, man. It looks good. And you just like, just go with it. It doesn't really matter. Just go with it. Get the group going.
So I have a few other questions, which was, I don't know, were like going back to before you joined, were you looking at other programs, and was there something specific that you saw within our program that you were like, yeah, this is the reason why I want to do it?
Yeah, there was a couple other programs that, I had looked at. There's one other program that I had joined. It wasn't necessarily this type of program, but when I had the first conversation with you, and Devin, and just the accountability. The guys that you guys really want us to succeed. Like just the follow up. Like even the first 3 weeks I joined the program, but I really didn't get going right away. I was waiting on some stuff for the Facebook banner and things. And every week, every few days, you're texting me, Devin's texting me, shooting me messages. Hey man, where are we at with this? Where are you looking at this? And so it wasn't just that you guys were trying to get rich, man, or get money on it. It was you guys were really in tune of trying to help us. And that meant a lot. Like to have that, like just relational, presence with you guys, man, that meant a lot.
Yeah, like it's so funny. See, I guess I take that for granted, but I don't know if that's a common practice within a lot of these coaching programs, right? It's like, great, we made a sale, pop the champagne, awesome. Oh, if he gets upset or she gets upset, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it, right? It's like, to me, like just because you got a client doesn't mean you need to pop the champagne. Now we pop the champagne. Like this is why we celebrate. And yes, does it take some time? Sure, but this is how I sleep good at night. Like, all right, so Jason came in and he actually made this a reality now. Because the only difference we got to do now is instead of saying 500,000 on the call, you just say 3,000 on the call. Like literally that's the only difference. Sure, we have to go build the program, but that's the only difference. You know what I mean? And it's so funny too, because
I get
we were laughing, right? Like that's all. Instead of saying 500, 1,000, you just say, yeah, it's 4,000. What option do you want to do? Paid in full? No worries. I take MasterCard, Visa. That's it. That's the only
right?
difference. Yeah. And it's so funny too, because when Jason enrolled his first, I think it was his first client, second client, he's like, that's all? I expected more, right? Like, tell us about that.
Yeah, no, that's how it worked, man. As I launched that beta launch, and I had people, I had what, eight or nine calls lined out right away, just saying, hey, let's chat about this, let's chat about that, let's go over this. And I'd say probably half of those people that I actually talked to on that beta program, I just said, I don't think this is gonna be a good fit for you. So it was me necessarily telling them, say, this just isn't going to work. So it wasn't a desperation thing. I actually wanted to be able to help them and really get it out of that. So
that's awesome. That's a good place to be in.
Conversations was awesome.
So talk to us about, was there anything particular that was the most helpful for you, and why was it so effective within the whole process, working with me, Devin, the coaching calls, the community, the membership area? Kind of talk to me. What was the things that was the most helpful and most effective? And why was it effective?
I would say all of the above. From the first few coaching calls with you, just getting the clarity, figuring out the details on how do we put this? How do we say this? How do we really get that niche down? Like, what's our offer? What are we really digging into as we fill out that program? And then getting with Devin on the tech side, because again, me being not tech savvy, his knowledge on things and just how you guys communicate and work with each other, man, it just amazing stuff. So I can't really pinpoint one thing. It's been every week there's something new as we talk. There'd be a week that I'm feeling a little bit down and I chat with you or chat with Devin, and you guys just bring something light, say, hey, let's do this, let's do that. Like, how many times have me and you talked and it's just like, boom, mind blown, just ideas that we chat back and forth, and we have similar brains and how we think, and it's like, dude, that's amazing. That kicks it off. That goes for the next couple weeks where we're rolling, So it's I'd say I guess the biggest key factor is just you two. It's not necessarily what you guys are teaching, it's just you guys just in general.
Yeah. And so kind of talk about that, because I think there's so many people that don't have that. And and talk to us why that's why that's changed the direction of your journey, because it sounds so simple. Oh, you just have two guys motivate you and keep you accountable, it sounds simple, but what really makes a difference? Because you obviously had great skills before. You understand business, you understand sales, you understand at some level marketing and operations. But what do you think was the thing that was like, okay, this is why most people stay in their position? Because they don't have what you have. And what is that, if that makes sense?
Yeah, no problem. Well, like I said, I was part of a couple other coaching programs before, and I still am with one of them. But I talk to that coach maybe every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. It's just there's no follow up with it. And when I ask questions like, okay, well, let me look into that and get back with you. When I have chats with you guys, man, you have the answers right away. you know what's going on. You're always available. I can shoot you a message. I can shoot you a text. Like, we have our phone numbers, and just say, hey man, where are we at with this? You know, I shot before I went on my first live call. I messaged Devin, hey man, do you mind if we run through this real quick? You know, he created the test live group so we could run through some tests on things to make sure all of the tech stuff was
I
good.
heard that. I heard
Just
that.
the above and beyond that you guys do for the clients, and that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Cool, man. So a couple more questions for you. Um, how has your life changed since achieving this outcome so far? How has Jason changed?
Uh,
Because it's not this like, wow, like I've made tons of money. I mean, now you're on the path, but how, like, what has really changed within your own life, within your own, the way you look at life and just in general?
that this is actually possible. That, you know, this dream that I've been thinking of for the last 5 years and working through many other online, you know, businesses, thinking about doing like FBA or affiliate marketing and just all of these different things, and nothing ever come to fruition. You know, moving what I was doing in local, you know, my local community, to moving it online and actually just realizing it's possible. Like, all of this is happening. That weight, like I said, is lifted off my shoulders. Like, wow, this is just a small piece of it, but just seeing now, it just keeps me going, and knowing I don't know where that end is, and I want to keep going, man, and just help as many people as I can. So just gratefulness, a ton of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's, we're just getting started, Val. We're just getting started. Talk about, the people in the community. So I think that's
Huh?
very powerful. I think that was one of the, like, I study even my own clients of like what they do that do well, because it's the same process for everyone. But sometimes some people like lag on stuff or just something, or just, I see there's certain patterns, and there's one pattern that I saw with you, even with Adrian or Chris, like kind of all three of you guys, or whatever the case is. I know you and Adrian are pretty close, but like, talk about that, because I think that's very vital as well, of having the same people on your own journey and what that even did for you.
Yeah, just even within, you know, the group that you guys have, that we do our community calls and things with, um, the help that we've had with each other and the support we've had each other, completely all different niches. It's been amazing. We've been bouncing things off of each other. You know, we've had Zoom calls, coaching calls again with each other, just offline. You know, like Nick Thorpe, man, me and him have talked a few times on things. I've helped him through some stuff on some copywriting things. I'm just selling that, as he knows the
Mhm.
copywriting. So I'm going to be meeting with him on some of that.
Mhm.
Just building that community just within what you guys do, man. There's been no, it's not like it's not a competition amongst each other.
Mhm.
It's okay, how can we help each other get there? And, you know, you guys have really set that mark with everybody and tried to build that amongst all of us. And so taking that and moving that into my group, um, I actually had a call today, just around lunchtime, that I talked to a gentleman, and he goes, he's been following it for the last month or so, and he was just amazed at how, in our group, it's so positive. There's no negativity. Everybody's there to help each other, and everybody's there to step each other up. And anytime that there's a question, there's multiple comments, and people are engaging in the posts. Um, so just taking that team building aspect of what we're doing here and what I've done in my normal business through the group, like there's relationships that I'm building with people in my group that are, you know, I can probably, it's only been a couple months, but I can see probably lifelong friendships with a few of them. And
Mhm.
just seeing them grow their business. Like, I have one gentleman that's, he's deaf and he's an amputee, and just helping him along the way. He's actually in my beta group in terms of how he's,
That's
you know,
awesome.
yeah. And just the communication barriers that we have. And, you know, even he stated to me that I'm the first person that's ever took some interest in him in terms of helping him, with even the communication barrier, and just
Yeah.
growing, trying to help him grow his business. Um, just super uplifting things, and some of the comments that the people are saying, you know, the testimonials and things that they're putting in the group, and man, it just makes you feel good, like you know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I love it. Okay. Um, last question for you would be, if there was anyone watching that's on the fence and about
Mhm.
to book a call to speak with us and our team to join the program, what would you say to them?
Don't hesitate, just do it. Trust your gut. Believe in the process, trust in the process, right? TTP. But Dan and Devin, you can't go wrong with these guys in the program. I talked to them briefly back in December first time, and I knew after that first conversation that I wanted to do it, but I didn't have the means to do it until February, end of February, and I reached right back out to them and I said, let's jump on this train and let's roll. And I had thought about it every day from that first conversation to do this, and no hesitation, I would do it over 10 times again.
Yeah, good, man. What was the thing that, just even from my own curiosity, but what was the thing that you took away from that first call that was like, all right, this is why I want to work with him? Was there something that I said, something that connected with you and resonated with you? What was that thing? Because I want everyone to learn.
No, just the relational presence, the communication that we had with each other, the way we talked to each other. It was a mutual respect. It wasn't just like, I know what I'm doing. You're gonna, you can do this or that, but I know what I'm doing. You didn't have that ego when you talk to us, or when you talk to me about the program, about what you're doing. You're just like, look, let's talk about this. Let's see where you can help. And you gave me some pointers along the way, and that I had no idea. But then it was all about that relationship, and that's all sales. Me being a high ticket salesman as it is, if you can establish that relationship right away, man, that's huge, and that's what really set me off, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, guys. Well, if you guys want to learn more about Jason, his group is down below. Definitely go and join the group. Yeah, Jason, any last words, man? I really appreciate this. If you guys have any questions for Jason, be sure to reach out to him. Jason, is there any last words that you want to add from your end before we wrap up?
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this video and it's providing a ton of value to you. Now look, I built my coaching business through this concept called community building, and specifically through a Facebook group initially. Now, if you're not in my Facebook group already, click the link down below. We're at thousands and thousands of members. It's a great way to connect with one another. I do exclusive trainings specifically just in my Facebook group, and it's a great way to connect, learn from us, and also model exactly what I do. So if you're not there already, and if you think Facebook's outdated, well, then get yourself a Facebook account. Come join the group, and we'll see you very soon. Back to the show.
I just appreciate everything you're doing, Dan and Devin, and just what you guys are bringing to the world. So thank you so much.
Appreciate that, man. Let's keep kicking butt, man. I'll see you later. Bye. Take care.